The Properties palette is a dialog where you can view and modify the parameters that define the properties of elements in Revit. It is usually located on the left side of the window, above the project browser. This palette consists of the Type Selector dropdown, the Instance Properties and Parameters, and the Edit Type button. This button accesses a dialog where you can view and modify the properties of the selected type of element. To get a better understanding of what each part of the Properties palette does, I have opened the Level 2 floor plan. I will zoom in on the bathrooms that can be seen in the view. To do this, I will move the cursor to the desired area and then move the scroll wheel upward. Now, I will hold down the scroll wheel and move the mouse to move the view so I can see better the elements that I'm interested in. At this point, I want you to notice the doors of the bathrooms. In the first doors tag, we see the number 203, while in the second doors tag, we see the number 205. Those two doors belong to the same family type, which means that they have the same properties. Their materials and dimensions are included in these properties. If you want to see and modify the properties of an element, you must select it first. So I will select the door whose number is 203, and its properties will appear automatically in the Properties palette. In the Type Selector field, we can see the type of door that is selected. If I click on it and expand the drop-down menu, I can see all the door types that are loaded into the project at the moment. As you can see, only 3 types of doors are loaded into the current project. I can select any of these 3 types to change the selected door into another type. Right now, the single flush 800 and 2100 type is selected. I will click on the M double flush 1730 H1 34 type to change the selected door. Notice that this type does not fit the room. So I will restore the previous door type by expanding the drop-down list and selecting the single flush 800 and 2100 type. In the same way, I can change the type of every element in a project back to the selected door's properties. Now we can find and define important properties and parameters like the sill height and the mark, for example. The mark field defines the tag number, which in this case is 203. I can change this number to 250, and I will click on Apply. Alternatively, I could have typed 250 and moved the cursor in the drawing area to apply the change. Notice that the number of the door has changed. At this point, I will restore the number to 203. To edit the properties of this door's type now. Like the door's dimensions, I have to click on the Edit Type button. As soon as I clicked, the Type Properties window opened, which contains the properties of this specific type of door. This means that all doors of this type will be affected by the changes I make in this window, regardless of which one is selected, to get a better picture of what that means. I will scroll down until I find the width field. I will change the width from 800 millimeters to 500 millimeters, and then I will click Apply. Notice now that the change was applied to both doors, and as a result, they are smaller. Now, I will reset the width to 800 millimeters, following the same process. Notice that the doors that belong to this type have returned to their original dimensions.